If you are growing tomatoes and suddenly your plants start taking over your garden, growing taller, spreading in every direction, and producing flowers and fruits all at once, then you are probably dealing with something very similar to what happened in this tomato bed. At the beginning, we believed these were determinate tomatoes, which usually grow in a controlled, compact way. But as time passed, it became clear that these plants were behaving very differently. Instead of staying small and bushy, they continued to grow taller and wider, spreading beyond their space, falling over, and even blocking the pathway around the bed. This kind of growth is typical of indeterminate tomatoes, which continue growing and producing throughout the season. When tomato plants are left unmanaged like this, they quickly become messy and difficult to handle. The branches start to bend under the weight of fruits, many parts of the plant touch the ground, and the risk of diseases increases. The overall health and productivity of the plants can suffer if this situation is not corrected. To bring this bed back under control, the first thing that needed attention was the condition of the soil surface. Weeds had started growing aggressively around the tomato plants, competing for nutrients, water, and space. In a garden environment, weeds can grow faster than crops if not controlled regularly. They not only weaken the tomato plants, but also create hiding spots for pests and reduce airflow around the base of the plants. All the weeds were carefully removed, making sure to pull them out from the roots so they would not grow back quickly. Once cleared, the bed immediately looked cleaner and gave the tomato plants more room to breathe and grow. With the bed cleaned, the next challenge was the uncontrolled spread of the plants. Since the tomato vines were growing in all directions, a simple but effective support system was created using bamboo sticks and rope. The bamboo sticks were placed around the bed and tied together to form a cage-like structure. This structure helps guide the plants to grow upward instead of outward. It also keeps the branches contained within a defined area, preventing them from falling into pathways or breaking under the weight of fruits. Supporting tomato plants in this way not only improves their structure but also makes harvesting easier and keeps the garden organized. As the plants continued to produce fruits, protecting them from soil contact became very important. When tomatoes touch wet soil, especially during watering or rain, they can rot or develop fungal problems. To prevent this, a layer of straw mulch was added around the plants. This mulch acts as a protective barrier between the soil and the fruits. It also helps retain moisture in the soil, reducing the need for frequent watering. Another benefit of mulching is that it suppresses weed growth, which means less maintenance in the future. The soil temperature also stays more stable under mulch, which supports healthy root development. At this stage, the plants were growing actively and needed proper nutrition to support flowering and fruiting. A homemade liquid fertilizer was used to boost their growth. This fertilizer was prepared using weeds collected from the garden along with compost tea. Instead of wasting the weeds, they were soaked in water with compost and allowed to break down over time. This process creates a nutrient-rich liquid that can be easily absorbed by the plants. When applied to the soil, this natural fertilizer quickly improves plant health. The leaves become greener, flowering increases, and fruit development becomes stronger and more consistent. Since it is made from natural materials, it also improves soil quality over time without causing any harm to the environment. After all these improvements, the transformation of the tomato bed was very noticeable. What was once an overgrown and messy area became clean, structured, and easy to manage. The plants were still growing vigorously, but now they were supported properly and confined within their space. The pathway around the bed was clear again, making movement in the garden much easier. The fruits were protected from touching the soil, reducing the chances of damage and disease. Tomatoes are naturally fast-growing and heavy-feeding plants, and if they are not guided properly, they can quickly become unmanageable. However, with consistent care and a few simple practices, even the most chaotic tomato bed can be turned into a productive and healthy growing space. Proper cleaning, support, mulching, and feeding not only improve the appearance of the garden, but also significantly increase the overall yield and quality of the harvest.